With the increasing use of the internet, a phenomenon known by the English acronym FOMO is gaining ground and becoming more widespread. FOMO, or fear of missing out, is literally translated into French as the fear of missing or losing out. It is also referred to as the anxiety of exclusion, which corresponds to a constant apprehension that others might be having rewarding experiences from which one is excluded, according to the definition by Przybylski et al. In 2013. It is known, in fact, that in France the average time spent online is 2 hours and 18 minutes per day, of which an average of 52 minutes is spent on social media. This time is 2 hours and 19 minutes for those aged 15 to 24, out of a total of around 4 hours per day spent on the internet, according to a Médiamétrie study published in 2023. These are average figures. We recently conducted a qualitative study that included research interviews with 120 social media users in France. Among our findings, a strong dependency was observed in a category of users with connection times ranging from 8 to 10 hours per day. For about 10 years, research in cyberpsychology has focused on this phenomenon, especially when reviewing the state of the art in this field, notably through a bibliometric study. The work of Przybylski from 2013 serves as a reference. The authors thus identified the motivational, emotional, and behavioral factors associated with it. Numerous studies have demonstrated the links between FOMO and addictive or dependent behaviors related to the device used for connection, namely the smartphone. Attention disorders, sleep disturbances, and a decline in academic performance can be observed among young users, especially adolescents. More recent studies have highlighted the very significant links between FOMO and intensive use of digital social networks, as these networks foster certain gratifications, notably the need to stay connected to one's community, observe others' lives, compare them to one's own, and dwell on feelings of regret and envy. All of this can affect the mental health of some users, in whom anxious or even depressive states may be observed. To address all this, disconnection is recommended. Some even go so far as to promote the joy of missing out, or the opposite concept, JOMO, joy of missing out. However, it must be acknowledged that it is not always easy to break free from FOMO, just like any other syndrome involving forms of dependence or addiction. This can be explained by the so-called compensatory internet use hypothesis by Cardefelt-Winther 2014, or by the I-PACE model, Interaction, Person, Affect, Cognition, Execution, by Brand et al. 2016. Both help to understand the recursive link between FOMO and digital addiction. It is also observed that social media professionals and digital marketing practitioners seek to leverage FOMO to cultivate user engagement, their attachment and loyalty to the brand, and ultimately to promote purchase intention. The techniques used include limited time offers, displaying low stock levels, and anything that heightens the user's perception of scarcity, exclusivity, or urgency. But how effective are these methods? In a study recently published in May 2023 in the journal Recherches et Applications in Marketing, my colleagues Daniel Maar, Mehmet Orhan and I demonstrate through a series of experiments using the uses and gratifications theory that the FOMO effect of ephemeral posts on the digital social network Instagram is a double-edged sword. The persistent fear of missing out on short-lived promotional content mechanically increases brand engagement, but at the same time fosters a sense of weariness or fatigue that negatively affects attitudes toward the brand. Beyond the ethical dimension raised by methods that exploit a psychological bias for commercial purposes, their effectiveness must therefore be questioned due to the risk of putting consumers in a relationship with content and products that they may perceive as infantilizing or even deceptive or unhealthy.